So that's an extract from Charlie Chaplin. I can continue a couple more paragraphs before we do the second discussion section. I sleep late the next day. Pretty little Jersey feels a world away from the dazzling metropolitan theatres or the drinking pits of South London. The air here is salt-heavy and beguiling, reminding me of one lost boyhood day before the fall when we joyously dipped our toes in the sea at Southend. I never saw the sea again as a child. St Helier is even more delightful, though for all its French airs, it is branded with the hallmarks of British provincialism. A grand statue of Queen Victoria dominates the weighbridge, her heavy shadow still hanging like an implacable burden over our age. Little engines trundle out from the nearby railway station, creeping westwards along the arc of the bay. The wooden warehouses that line the Esplanade are packed high in season, with potatoes for export for the finest markets in London. Tomorrow is the climax of the Battle of Flowers, a charming parade that since the late King Edward's coronation has formed the mainstay of the summer season here. The weather has been rather foul in these parts of late, but we can hardly miss the chance to take part in such a celebration. At Lucerne that afternoon, my cast members and I joined the parade, marching in unison as a theatre troupe to amuse the crowds of assorted onlookers and good-timers. They are still putting the final touches to the battle displays, great floral barges, lavish flower sacrifices to the gods of fate and summer and chance. I prance past the floats in character, drolly reprising my role as a tipsy musical buffoon. The people love it. I break out from the line and perform an impromptu performance, staggering past, clowning and japing it up to high heaven. I draw titters and cheers from the audience, drinking in the applause. Out of the corner of my eye, a man is cranking up one of those curious newfangled marvels, a cinematographic camera for taking motion pictures. I am told he has come down from London for the purpose, at the behest of the Topical Gazette, and is grinding the machine for all it's worth. Almost as many people seem to be watching him as me. I love novelty, this is my first time in a film, but it seems to fit me like a glove. The crowds roar out their acclaim, and the air is fresh with the scent of opportunity. My little solo escapade is coming to an end. I bow jauntily and revel in the cheers. Just as I saunter back into the melee, I spy a little boy, his face dirty and smudged, gazing at me with pure adoration. I look back at him and see myself. He is a grimy street urchin, dirty but clinging to his pride, entranced by the show. The boy calls out to a distant mother, "Oh, Mama, why has he gone away? I did want to see that funny man again." His laughter burns in my ears like a promise. In that moment, I begin to understand. This is the shape of things to come. The cine camera whirs and turns, spinning out my future. Suddenly the sun breaks in through the cloud bank high over St Albans Bay and hangs above the horizon like a glorious sign. The 1912 Battle of Flowers glides on. The little lost boy turns and smiles at me for one last time before he is swallowed up by the carnival. I slip back into the warm embrace of the parade, my ears ringing with his laughter, dancing on towards tomorrow. Okay. So that's an extract. Charlie Chaplin, his own memory, his own history. So, just a few thoughts that came to me, both as I was writing and as I was rereading this chapter, that maybe we could discuss at the tables in 5 minutes. First of all, some of you may be aware who used this phrase and why. I'm a fool for Christ, whose fool are you? This was John Wimber, founder of the Vineyard movement. And a long time ago, before he found God, he was a musician playing with the Righteous Brothers in Los Angeles. And he saw this man with a sandwich board, obviously some kind of eccentric chap, with this message on his front and back, just roaming the streets. At the time, he laughed at it, thought it was a joke. But years later, when he was converted and came to know Christ, that memory somehow from his subconscious came back into his mind. So, if you want to know where I got the line from in the book, that inspired me. A second thing to talk about, and this is much more of an anti-clerical sentiment. James Joyce portrayed the artist as a young man. The hero Stephen Davis is chafing against the strictures and dogma, as he perceives it, of the church in Ireland. And he describes history as a nightmare from which I'm trying to awake. And that made me think, as individuals, as churches, and as nations, how far are we all simply the sum of our past experiences? And can we ever truly wake up? And the third thing to discuss, obviously Shakespeare, as you like it, all the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances. So perhaps meditation, what is our own part in this show? So 3 themes, depends how you want to split it per table. But if you're kind enough to spend 5 minutes on that, that would be fantastic.